Welcome to Tarot's Landing, a place where we explore tarot old and new, the classic pathways and the cards that show up between the cracks. Settle in, take a breath, and let's see what wants to be known tonight. A gentle reminder before we begin, not every reading is for everyone. If something here speaks to you, if you feel that quiet click of recognition, then you're in the right place. And if partway through you notice the message drifting away from you, that's okay too. Let it pass like weather. We'll be here and we look forward to seeing you next time. As I tune in, I'm getting the sense that this reading won't stay on the surface. It feels like we're being invited to look underneath the story we've been telling, into foundations, hidden costs, and the things we've postponed naming. But it's not heavy without purpose. There's also a clear current of tenderness here. Choices made with open hands, careful stewardship of something precious, and the kind of release that makes room for real movement again. So if you've been feeling a quiet pressure building, like something wants to be acknowledged, cleared, and set back into honest flow, let's begin. Alright, so our first card in the row is Undercity, and immediately this tells me we are not starting with appearances. We're starting with what's underneath. This card says there is something foundational shaping your situation right now. A hidden cost, an old pattern, an unspoken agreement, a piece of emotional or practical debt that has not disappeared just because it's been out of sight. It's still active, it's still counted, and I want to say this gently. This doesn't feel like punishment. It feels like revelation, like something in your life has reached the point where it can't be carried forward in the same hidden way anymore. If you've been sensing pressure, heaviness, or that strange feeling that the surface story doesn't fully explain what's happening, this card is your confirmation. For some of you, this is relational, resentment, silence, old hurt, expectations nobody named. For others, it's money, work, burnout, overextension, or giving more than is actually sustainable. But the message is the same. The foundation matters more than the performance right now. Undercity asks you to look at the locked door in your life. What conversation, truth, boundary, repair, or ending have you been walking past? Because that is where the energy is. And once it's acknowledged, things can move again. But honestly, this reading is saying not before. And now our second card is love. And I have to say, this changes the texture of the reading in a really important way. Because right after Undercity, which asked us to look at what's buried, love comes in and says, what's underneath this is not just damage, it's devotion, tenderness, and the question of what truly matters to you. This card doesn't feel shallow or performative at all. It feels sacred, actually. It feels like you are being asked to make a choice with open hands, not clenched ones, not from fear, not from control, not from trying to force certainty, but from honesty, from care. For some of you, this is absolutely about a relationship. And if it is, the message is that love here is not being measured by intensity. It's being measured by truth, by repair, by whether two people can meet each other clearly. Can we name what hurts? Can we honor boundaries? Can we choose each other without abandoning ourselves? And if this is not romantic, it still speaks just as strongly. This can be about self-love, family, friendship, community, even the way you hold your own life. What is precious here? What deserves to be treated as sacred instead of managed like a problem? So with Undercity underneath and love here beside it, I'm hearing this very clearly. The thing you need to face is not separate from the thing you care about most. In fact, you face it because you care. And that makes all the difference. And the third card here is money flow. And this is so interesting because now the reading is getting very practical. After Undercity and Love, this card says, whatever is being uncovered, whatever matters deeply here, it also has to be brought back into right exchange, into balance, into honest circulation. Money flow is never just about cash. It's about resources, effort, time, energy, care. It asks, where is the river going? And is it actually nourishing your life? So, for a lot of you, yes, this can absolutely point to finances, hidden costs, undercharging, overgiving, carrying too much, or needing to clean up a system so it can support you better. But because it comes after love, I also want to say this. This is about reciprocity. Are you pouring from a place that is sustainable? Are you receiving as well as giving? Is there a fair exchange here? Or has devotion quietly turned into depletion? And with Undercity underneath it, I really feel this card is saying, look at the leak, look at the drain, look at the place where your resources are being shaped by avoidance, guilt, fear, or an unspoken agreement. Because once you see that clearly, you can redirect the current. This card is a good sign, actually. It says things can move again, but they need channels. They need honesty. They need stewardship. What you care about now has to be supported in a way that can truly last. So just pausing here for a moment, the reading so far is very clear. We started with Undercity, which told us the truth is underneath the surface. Then love showed us that what's being uncovered actually matters deeply to your heart. And now money flow is asking how this gets brought back into honest, sustainable exchange. So we're looking at hidden foundations, real care, and the practical question of reciprocity. And to me, that means as we move into these next two cards, we're likely going to see where this is heading, what needs to shift, and what becomes possible once everything is brought back into alignment. And our fourth card is Glass Orchard. And this feels like such a beautiful, important development in the reading, because now we're moving from uncovering and caring and restoring balance into how something precious is actually sustained. Glass Orchard says whatever this reading is about, and it is delicate, but not weak. It needs stewardship, it needs consistency, it needs gentle hands. What I'm hearing very clearly is, don't grip what needs to be tended. For some of you, this is a relationship where trust is present, but it's tender. It can grow, it can deepen, but not through pressure, testing, or trying to force certainty before something is ready. For others, this is your own healing, your peace, your creative work, your sense of stability. Something real is growing here, but it won't respond well to harshness. And I love that this comes after money flow, because it says sustainability is not just about resources, it's about care. Are you creating the conditions for what matters to thrive? Rest, honesty, patience, boundaries, follow through. Glass Orchard reminds us that not everything valuable is meant to be rushed or possessed. Some things become stronger through tenderness, not control. So if you've been asking how to protect what matters, this card says, with presence, with restraint, and with an open hand. And now our fifth and final card is Death. And honestly, this feels exactly like where this reading has been heading all along. Because after Undercity showed us the buried truth, Love showed us what matters. Money Flow asked for honest exchange, and Glass Orchard asked for careful stewardship. Death comes in and says, something now needs to end so that everything else can live properly. And I want to be very clear, this does not feel ominous. It feels necessary. It feels like a clean threshold, a release, a severing of what is finished, what is no longer sustainable, what cannot come with you into the next version of your life. For some of you, this is a relationship dynamic, not necessarily the whole relationship, but a pattern within it. For others, it's an old role in obligation, a fear, a way of overgiving, a structure that has quietly been draining you. And this card says, Don't confuse clinging with love. Death is mercy in this spread. It clears what has already completed its work. It asks you to let the ending be real, so the renewal can be real too. So if you've known in your heart that something is over or ready to be shed, this is your confirmation. Release is not failure here. It is the doorway. It was a pleasure doing this reading for you. Please subscribe for more readings.